What's going on, guys? Jacob Worth back here with another video of Jacob's Life in Vegas. Coming to you guys today, talk about the cost of living between Las Vegas and the biggest city in all of America, New York, right? New York City, good old state of New York, right? Expensive place. If you're in New York City, just similar, hey, to like, me coming from California here to Las Vegas. So we're going to talk about that today as I come to you guys on a beautiful day here in the fall. I'm in shorts, t-shirt, and flip-flops. Here in the fall in Southern Nevada. It's a great place to be, I tell you. And we're going to talk about that today in this video. And if you're looking to move here, which is probably why you're watching this video, needing to buy a home or buy a place here, if you need to sell in New York first or anything like that, you just want to come and buy here in Las Vegas, whether it's right away or you want to rent first and buy later, anything like that, okay, I will put a link down below. There'll be a realtor named Lacey, who I've known for years here in Las Vegas, and a mortgage lender she works with named Amber, okay? Lacey and Amber, I've known them for years. They've been friends for a long time. They will hold your hand throughout the process, and they definitely know how to have some fun along the way when it comes to buying a home here in Southern Nevada, so there'll be a link down below to contact them, okay? Now, talking about this, cost of living from Las Vegas to New York. Understand these numbers here I'm going to give you guys just to give you a general idea, right? These numbers can vary depending on the websites you use, how they track them. Numbers change over time, right? So for 2022, to give you a general idea of what you can expect the cost of living difference to be coming from New York to Las Vegas. So if you make $50,000 a year in New York, which is not a whole lot, in New York City, you're going to need to maintain that standard of living, you're going to need to make about $28,700 here in Las Vegas, okay? So cost of living is about 34% lower, so about 1/3 coming from New York here to Las Vegas. Housing, average apartment rent, almost $3,700 in New York, damn. Here in Las Vegas, $1,176, okay? That's what you're looking at here. Median home price in New York, about $654,000. This in Las Vegas, it shows us 441, but that's a bit high. So Vegas is closer to being like, it's over 400, but not quite as high as 441, not that high. Food in New York City. All right, we're talking about bread. So bread, $3.64 for a loaf of bread. Here in Las Vegas, $3.28. A dozen eggs in New York, you're looking at $3.31. And here in Las Vegas, you're looking at $2.01. Gallon of milk, $4.53 in New York. Las Vegas, $2.50. 12-inch pizza in New York, 17 bucks. Damn. Geez, New York. Las Vegas, $10.50. Movie ticket, New York, $16.30. Here in Las Vegas, $12.15. Yoga class, New York, over 20 bucks for a yoga class in New York. Oh gosh. Here in Las Vegas, almost 17 bucks. Now, 24-pack of beer in New York, at least in like 2019, the state average, $15.50. Here in Nevada, I guess 21 bucks. Geez, so hey, maybe the beer is slightly cheaper across the state of New York than it is here across the state of Nevada. Healthcare, New York, at least for like the Manhattan area. Cost of a doctor's visit, this actually shows as being slightly cheaper. $106, $107 in New York versus $112 here in Vegas. Dentist visit, that's going to cost you more in New York. $124 versus $102 here in Las Vegas. Optometrist visit, $108 in New York and $115 here in Vegas. Lipitor, $443 in New York, $436 here in Vegas. And population, yeah, New York is the biggest city in the country, right? So New York, this is in 2019, about 8.4 million, so 8.5 million people in New York, probably closer to 9 million at this point, I would imagine. In Las Vegas, about 635,000. Now that's just the city limits of Las Vegas, okay? There's the city limits of Las Vegas, there's unincorporated Clark County. So people who don't live in an official town, they just live in part of the county that's unincorporated, and they oftentimes will still put a Las Vegas on their address. You still get your mail sent to you and all that kind of thing, but they're not in the city limits of Las Vegas. So then we also have Henderson, which is a separate city, and North Las Vegas, which is a separate city. So really you have Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and Henderson are their own separate towns. And then you have unincorporated Clark County. Unincorporated Clark County probably has, let's see, yeah, probably close to like 1 million people living in unincorporated Clark County. And then weather. All right, average summer high in July here in Las Vegas. Everybody thinks of when they think of Vegas, right? The heat. 103.8 in July. That's obviously our hottest month. Yes, it's dry here in the summertime, right? We are in the desert. New York, 84 degrees. So it gets warm there up in New York. I thought it might get a little warmer than that. But the average winter low, New York's definitely got Vegas beat on this one. Vegas is 37 degrees, New York's 26. And then, yeah, so that cold won't be nearly as severe here in Las Vegas as you're probably used to in New York. We also don't really get snow here in Vegas. Once a year, we'll get like a dusting, right? Then maybe like once a decade, we'll get, enough that, it's like really big news, right? So once a year you might see it on the news here. People are like, get enough like from this whole park here to like make a little snowman or something like that, but definitely not what you're used to seeing in New York when it comes to snow and that kind of thing in the cold weather. Okay, it won't be as bad here. An average commute time, one way to work for the whole metro area, this is New York, 40 minutes, which I could see that in New York. I've actually yet to visit New York City, but I know in New York they have like the subway, way more public transportation options than we do here in Las Vegas. Here in Las Vegas, lots of people are taking their cars. We do have a bus system here. It's not known for being great. We don't have a subway here or anything like that. You know, Las Vegas is 24.5 minutes, and I would say it's actually pretty high for Las Vegas based on that estimate. So the Vegas Valley is a pretty easy place to drive across, north to south, east to west. Lots of the roads are a giant grid. And, you know, it's really pretty easy place to navigate. Now, state income tax. We get to the tax structure here. This is where things definitely differ between Nevada and New York. So, New York, they have state income tax, 4% at the lowest level, 8.8, almost 9% at the highest. So you guys are like pushing almost California numbers. Nah, not quite. Closer to Hawaii numbers. But in Nevada, their state income tax is 0, right? We don't do state income tax here in the state of Nevada, okay? And in order to change that, they would have to actually change the state constitution of Nevada. Sales tax, pretty similar, 8% in New York, 8.38% here in Las Vegas. So our sales tax is on the higher end because we don't have the state income tax, and also because our property tax across the state of Nevada tends to be lower. So in Clark County, it's 0.65%. Nevada as a state, I think, is one of the lowest in the country, about fourth lowest in the country. And New York, man, at least New York County, 1.925%. Damn, dude, here's like triple what ours is here. So sales tax is slightly lower in New York, but that state income tax and the property tax, woo, definitely gets you. And then the top industries, by employment, you know, New York, you think healthcare, education, retail, definitely their fair share of hospitality as well. Here in Las Vegas, pretty much everyone knows, right? Hospitality, food services, healthcare. We do get lots of retirees from New York, from California, right? People are tired of the cold weather and high taxes, and they want to come to a place that's warm weather with low taxes. So, yeah, anything travel, hospitality, nightlife, events, things like that are obviously going to be big here in Southern Nevada. It's kind of a given. People, pretty much everyone knows that about visiting here. You know, who comes here to visit Las Vegas, you know, a lot of the industry here revolves around hospitality, you know, and that kind of thing. So if you work in that industry, you can transfer your skills probably pretty easily if you work at a hotel or something along those lines. If you don't, and you work in something like construction, or you're a manager, you know, for a certain business, or you work in accounting, or you work in anything along those lines, you can find that kind of job pretty much anywhere. You'll find those same jobs here, because Clark County right now is about 2.3 million people. Okay, the vast majority of those people live right here in the Vegas Valley area. Yes, you have you know, you have tens of thousands of people who live in other places around the county, like, you know, in Boulder City and Laughlin and Mesquite and stuff like that. But without a doubt, the big bulk of the population is between Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas, and just the unincorporated parts of Clark County that are immediately in this general area. So there's a couple million people in this area. It's a sizable metropolitan area. You can find a job here. You can find you know, ways to transition your life here, whether you're retiring or whether you're wanting to move here to start, you know, a new chapter in your life, whether you're a younger person, whether you're middle-aged, whether you're older, whatever the case is. So coming from New York, lots of New Yorkers I know love to go to Florida, retire, but we get our fair share that do come here to Nevada as well. That's one thing that did surprise me when I first moved here, was the amount of New York accents that I heard when I first moved here to Las Vegas. So that's gonna be this video, guys. Remember, if you do need help with the whole moving process, link will be down below to contact the realtor Lacey. She will help you. Her and the team will help you through that process, okay? Other than that, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for being so awesome. That is it for this video. I am Jacob, and this is My Life in Vegas.